Hi, welcome to another episode of I Can Alteryx That with coaches Alex and John. I'm John. Today we're going to cover Alteryx Weekly Challenge number 212, NFL Draft Data. Let's get started. Alright, so in this problem, our goal is to take NFL draft information data and to collect all this information and return an output of the three teams per year with the best draft efficiency score. So the first data set we have is called draft pick value. It's 14 columns. So we have pick in value and then the value of that pick. The first overall pick has been given a value of 3,000. The second overall pick, 2,600. And that number goes on down to a lowest value of 2. For every pick from number 224 on is given a value of 2 points. So you can see here the first two columns correspond to round 1. The second two columns correspond to round 2, and so on through the 7 rounds of the NFL Draft. Then we have identical data sets for the 2015 through the 2019 NFL Drafts, where it has the year, the pick number from 1 through 254, the team, the player selected, and then that player's grade, which is based on how much success that player has had so far in his career. So what we have to do is for each team, sum up the grades and sum up the values per team per year, and then calculate the draft efficiency score, which is the grade divided into the total pick value. So the first thing that we need to do is fix this data right here so that we have one column for picks and one column for values. And by far the easiest way to do that is from the transform tool palette and grabbing the arrange tool. The little used arrange tool. So what we can do here is just click on column right away and click add, and we'll call this pick. And what we're going to do is select all of the columns that contain the pick information. So we're going to select those 7 columns. Then we're going to do the same thing, column add, and we're going to call this value. I guess we could turn off the description. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to impact anything. But we're going to select all of the value columns. Let's go back to, I don't know if I can edit it anymore. Whatever. And let's run this. And so you see we have our pick numbers with the corresponding values. And we have this description column that I forgot to turn off, but we're not going to worry about that. So the next thing that I want to do is just union all of these draft picks by year. So we're just going to do this. They're identical data sets, so there's no harm in unioning them right away. So let's just run this and see what we've got. So you see we have our pick numbers and the values, and then here we have the year, pick number, and the grades. So let's go ahead and join these two. But one thing we noticed, or I noticed, is that in here, the picks, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. I can sort this real quick though. The picks only go up to 224. But in here, the picks go down potentially to at least 254. And up here it says, each subsequent pick is worth less. Any picks after number 224 will need to be assigned a value of 2. So if we do an inner join, we're actually going to miss those picks that came afterwards. So let's go ahead and make this a right outer join. That way we assure that we have all the picks that came after 224. Oops, I forgot to actually set up the join. So we're going to join on pick number. Okay, so now you see we have all of our records here. Picks 1, picks 2, 3, and so on. If we scroll all the way down, you'll see for these later ones, they have a value of null. So we'll go ahead and use a formula tool. Let's update the value field and say if is null value, then 2, otherwise just keep the regular value. Now if we run this again and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see all these later picks are given a value of 2. So now the next thing we should do is go ahead and summarize. So drag a summarize tool. We will group by year and team. We'll sum the grade and the value. Let's go ahead and run that and see what we've got. 160 records. So we have 5 years and there's 32 NFL teams. 5 times 32 is 160. So that's the number I was expecting to see, which is good. So now let's go ahead and, looking back up over here, we want to calculate the draft efficiency score, which is the grade divided into the draft pick value. And I notice they have grade first and then value, but we have value then grade. So I'm just going to switch those to make it a little easier to compare. In any case, we'll grab a formula tool, calculate a new field called draft efficiency score, and that's going to be the grade divided into the value. Make sure you set it as a double. Let's go ahead and run it again to see what we've got. Okay, those numbers look like these, so that's good. And now the last thing we need to do is find the top 3 teams per year. So what I'm going to do now is sort by year in ascending order, and then draft efficiency score in descending order. And finally, we'll grab a sample tool. We want the first n rows where n is equal to 3, and we're going to group by year. 15 records. So one thing I noticed in running this is that my answers don't match theirs, and several other people that have answered this already have said the same thing, and my answers match theirs. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'm right and that they're right, and that this output is incorrect. So we see New England's the same, but for whatever reason, in their answer up here in 2015, they don't have Seattle. They have New England, Minnesota, Arizona. I have Seattle, New England, and Minnesota. So for whatever reason, they mixed up Seattle and Arizona. But in any case, that is my solution to Alteryx Weekly Challenge number 212, Draft Masters. Thanks for watching. As always, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Data Coach channel for more awesome lessons on Alteryx and all things data, analytics, and visualization. Follow Data Coach on Twitter at AskTessellation and follow me personally at jemery_dataviz. Thanks again.